What's going on, guys? It's Ricky Arnold here again, and if you guys enjoyed that little intro I just made, well, I'm going to show you exactly how to make that yourself using Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Premiere. It's super quick and anybody can do it. So let's go. So the other day I was watching a YouTube video from a YouTuber by the name of McKinnon. And if you guys are into photo and video and you guys have not heard of who this guy is, make sure you go check the link in the description below and go subscribe to his channel, because I've learned quite a bit from this guy and the guys that he works with, Maddie over at Travel Feels and some other people like that. I'll link his channel in the description below as well, so you guys can check it out if you guys are looking to learn anything. But I was watching one of his videos, and this last video that he made was called How to Make Objects Disappear and Reappear in Your Videos or Your Photos. And it got me thinking, what if I applied this little technique that he taught us to something else that I do in Photoshop and Premiere to make my own little technique? So that's what I'm going to show you guys right now. So basically what I'm going to do is teach you guys how to make daytime photos fade into nighttime photos, or vice versa if you guys want to do it that way. It works either way, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch from this view right here to... Alright guys, so welcome to the desktop of my computer. So, first thing you're going to need to do is to make sure that you have either a daytime photo, like the one I have right here, or a nighttime photo. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start with my daytime photo because I took this photo myself, and then I'm going to use an overlay of a night sky to create a nighttime photo and save that, and then use both my daytime photo that I took myself and the nighttime photo that I create to make the little night to day fade. But I will tell you right now, make sure with your photo that you have a photo that has sort of an uncomplicated foreground. Otherwise, the next couple steps is going to be pretty difficult for you. It works best with a photo like this where there's a lot of sky. You can do it if there's a little bit more stuff going on in your photo, but it's just going to take you a little bit more time, and I'll show you why here in just a second. So, let's get started here. So go ahead and get your daytime photo or nighttime photo. You can still do this either way, like I said. Go ahead and right click and then select Open with Adobe Photoshop 2018. And if you're on a Mac, I'm sorry I don't use a Mac, but to open it, I'm pretty sure you just have to take your photo and then just drag it down to your Photoshop app. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. Okay, so once we're into Photoshop, guys, the first thing I like to do is go ahead and press Ctrl 0. And that resizes the photo and it brings it completely all the way to fill the screen. I just like it to be a little bit bigger so I have more to work with here. Alright, so the actual first step is what we want to do here is we want to select our foreground right here. We want to get just this part right here selected. And to do that, what I'm going to use is the Quick Selection tool, or W. And then you want to go down here, go ahead and start probably down on the corner here for my photo. Your photo is obviously going to be different, but I'm just going to start right here. So you just start clicking, and if you see how I did this right here, if you screw up, like I said, go ahead and just right click and then deselect it, and we'll do it again. So I'll go and grab it like that. There you go. See, I got it first try, and you start dragging to the right or the left depending on what side you're on. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this all the way over, and then it just selects it really quickly for you. So what you can do right now to make sure you got everything, just go ahead and go around and look at your little ants and make sure they're covering each little piece. And you can see right here, I'm actually missing a little spot. So I need to go ahead and select this little guy right here. And then once I do that, I have the whole entire thing selected. Alright guys, so once we have our foreground selected, we're going to go ahead and right click. And then you'll see this menu come up, and then go ahead and select Inverse. So it selects everything but that foreground that you had right there. So once you have all that done and your inverse is selected, go ahead and right click again for me and then select Layer via Cut. So what that'll do is it'll create a new layer right here, and if you go ahead and hide the layer, you'll see that everything right there is hidden. Okay, so now that we have our foreground selected and we have our background cut out, we can go ahead and grab our overlay, which is this guy right here is what I'm going to go ahead and use, and you click it, hold it, and drag it in until you see that plus sign, and then just let it drop. And then you're going to want to resize it to your photo. So what I'm going to do is, Photoshop has a really cool guideline thing. When you see it, you see the top right here, how it turns pink. That's how you know that it's in line with the grid. So I'm just going to make sure on each side it's lined up perfectly, and go ahead and drop it, and then press enter. And that will put it right into your photo. Okay, so what we're going to want to do now is we're going to have to reselect our foreground. So you want to hide this layer right here, so you just see your original photo again, and then go ahead and select layer 1, and then press the magic wand tool, and then it will reselect that foreground that we had selected before. So basically the magic wand, if you make a selection with the quick selection tool, the magic wand tool will basically reselect your selection for you again. Or you can just go up to select and press reselect right there. That works as well. So once you do that and you have that selected, go ahead and unhide that layer, and you'll see that we have our foreground still right there. So what you want to do right now, before you do any erasing, because I know you guys might jump ahead of me, before you do any erasing, you want to select this overlay layer, and you're going to want to right click it and rasterize it. So basically what that does is it just changes the vector layer, which is this picture. It's a vector, and it changes it into pixels, which is what the background was basically. So that's about as scientific as I can get with that. So so yeah, after you rasterize it, you'll see that little icon that was on the layer. It goes away. So that's how you know you did it right. After you rasterize it, go ahead and go to your eraser tool, just the regular eraser tool, and then if you want to resize it, select the little brackets, and those make it bigger and smaller. So select it as big as you want, and then go ahead and start erasing, and you'll see that it will only erase what we have selected. So it already looks pretty cool, right? But that's not it. You're not done. I know it looks pretty easy, but you're one more step, and you're done. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to create a adjustment layer, and we're going to do a brightness and contrast adjustment layer. And the reason we're going to do this is because if you think about it, this foreground, the lighting is for when it was daytime. It's now nighttime, so to make it contrast when you make the two pictures fade from one to another, you're going to want to make this nighttime layer just a little less bright. So what I want to do is I'm going to probably, what was it at before? It's right around there. I'm going to probably go down to maybe, I'll drop it down to maybe 50. So that way, when you do put the two layers together in Premiere, they contrast really well from dark to light. And that really is pleasing to the eye, and it will make it look a lot cooler. So what we're going to do for now is we're going to leave it right there. So I would just go with minus 50 if you have a picture kind of like mine. So what we're going to do now is basically we're done with this part of the picture. So we're going to go ahead and go to File, Save As, and then make sure you select save it as a JPEG. And I already have it saved right here, so I'm not going to save it again, but then you just select Save, and then make it as high quality as you can. So it'll come up with a little box, and it will ask you what quality you want to save it in, and just do it as high quality as you can. So now that we have that done, let's go ahead and get out of here. So basically what you just did is you just went in Photoshop and you created this picture right here. So now we have that picture, which is the nighttime picture, and now we have the daytime picture as well. So how do we get those two pictures to do this? Well, don't worry. I'm going to feed you, baby birds. Come along with me. So let's open Premiere. Alright, so once we're in Premiere, you can see I already had a project open, but we'll just do a new one just for your guys' purposes, and let's see if I have it. Yep, I already have it. So I'm going to name it, I just named it Night to Day Photoshop Tutorial. You guys can honestly name it whatever you want. Go ahead and press OK. And it says it already exists, overwrite. Yes, I'll just overwrite it. Okay, and then you get into Premiere right here. So all you got to do, go to File, New Sequence. And we're going to go ahead, I'm just going to name the sequence the same thing. And then I always just select as a default 1080p 60. Because that's what I'm filming the computer part of this at anyway, so I'm just going to do that, and I'll press OK. And it scales really well with Instagram and everything like that. You can do 4K if you want to. It just depends on the size of your photo, but I see with the sizes of my photos, the 1080p setting worked the best, so that's what I'm going to do. So back to the computer. Now that we're here, we're going to go ahead and take our nighttime photo, go ahead and drag that in, and then we're going to take the daytime photo and drag that in. Put those two on there, and then I just go ahead and ripple delete it to the very beginning. And you'll see once we get them both in there that it is the photo's not all the way in the frame. So go ahead and right click it and select scale to frame size, and you'll see that it puts it right in the frame. Same thing with the next one. Go ahead and select it, right click, scale to frame size, and there we go. We got the two photos. Now they just obviously they're in there, and all they do right now is just change. So how do we make that a little bit cooler? All you gotta do, I mean, there's a couple different ways to do this, honestly, but the easiest way to do this is to just select in the middle of this, go ahead and right click, and put apply default transitions, which depending on the way you edit, it may be a different transition if you switched it, but if you have the default transition, it'll just be a slow fade. So right now it'll just look like this. But that's a little too quick for me. I like it to be a little bit longer and a little more dramatic. So I'm going to go ahead and you just got to zoom in a little bit, and you'll see once you get this little bracket right here, that's going to go ahead and change your transition. So you just grab it and just stretch it out a little bit like that. And I'll probably make the duration of it maybe 4.5 seconds, maybe 5. If you do it like that, so it's going to come in like this, and it'll start fading, and bam. Woo! Look at that. Man. Very simple, just a small little thing, but man, I like it. That's why I'm bringing this to you guys. Anyway, so if you guys want to make the final touches to this, I would just put a little fade at the beginning and then a fade at the end. So it looks professional, sort of, so it'll fade up like that. And it fades to day. And then it fades out and you're done. That's it. Or, honestly, you can just do it the normal way. If you want to just have it like this, you can literally just have it play like that, and it will fade from night, and it will fade to day. And you see how the color contrast happens, guys? See how we did that little brightness change right there? So it'll be a little bit darker right here, and as we fade in, the foreground gets a lot brighter with the actual background as it becomes daytime. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my very first Photoshop / Premiere tutorial. I hope it wasn't too bad. If I screwed up anything, make sure you guys leave it in the comments below and ask me any questions if you have any. If you guys got confused at all, I'll try to answer them as best I can. Really, I just kind of got inspired by another creator's video that I saw, and I haven't done a tutorial like this before yet, so I figured why not do one and give it a shot. So if you guys really liked it, make sure you guys leave a like down below. If you guys seriously really liked it, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel so you guys can be updated on when I do more videos, and you guys can keep coming back for more. And I will see you guys in the next one. Later.